August 4th, 2024. Sunday. Went to the hospital today. Thought my twins were about to be born. False alarm. Woke up. Went to the hospital. 6 a.m. Ended up being false alarm, so we came back home. It wouldn't have been so early, or I wouldn't have felt so tired if I wasn't up until 12:30 in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning, whatever it was, watching the Phillies lose in extra innings after they were up 5-0, then 4-1, or 4-0, 5-1, 4-1. You get the point. You get what I'm saying. I was up late watching the Phillies. That's what I'm getting at here. So, want to just talk about a few things as far as this Phillies season has gone so far, because you got some people going off on the deep end. Yeah, this team sucks. They're gonna fucking blow it. Never trust them. They're gonna implode. That's one side. Then you got the other side. It's more positive. Very few people over there. I'm leaning that way. This is where I'm at, because I'm a baseball fan. So I know how baseball works. Played in college, played at a high level. I'm smarter than most of you guys. Most of you guys are casual fans and don't know much about the game, or are only invested when your team is relevant. And we're going to talk about that as well. First, I wanted to preface this. I don't know what we'll call it, like a rant, a solo podcast. I've never done really solo podcasts before, because I don't like to yap. Most of these people, these fucking nerds on the radio, they yap. They don't even remember what they said. So, they'll bring up shit from 2 weeks ago, and they're like, "No, you said this." And I'm like, well, I got to fill up 4 hours on the radio, so we just yap like fucking schoolgirls. Yap. I don't do that. I make short form content for the most part, because I got something to say, I'll say it, and then it's over. I don't sit for 4 hours on the fucking radio yapping like schoolgirls. What do you think the relationship is like between Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni? Shut the fuck up, first off. Okay? So, we'll start this preface, right? This is how I want to preface this. It's going to be a shorter episode. It's just me talking. So, preface it by saying I love this Phillies team, right? I want this team to succeed. Everybody in the lineup, even Johan Rojas, who I'm not a huge fan of, I want to see them succeed. I want to see them produce. I want to see them be great. I never wish they fail. That's not a fan. If you're a fan of a team, you want your team to win. You don't care who's on it, if you don't like them, whatever. So that's first. And I pride myself as being a rational, non-delusional Phillies fan, because most of the Phillies fans, most people here in the Philly area are negative Nancy's. They're, nobody around here is winning a Nobel Peace Prize, right? Okay, nobody's an astrophysicist from this area. That'll just tell you where I'm at. What I found is what I believe to be partly true. Well, this is true, but I'm saying the whole discussion around the Phillies is most people aren't diehard baseball fans. I think most people can agree with that. Just like most people aren't hockey fans, right? Baseball is a very diehard sport. So you either love it or you don't love it. I think majority of the people would say they don't love it. They think it's boring. There's 162 games. So they're not watching. Most people aren't watching or are invested into a team or into a game as much as baseball fans, okay? Because they play 162 games a year. So when you have a team that's relevant, like the Phillies, who have been relevant over the past 2, 3, 4 years, we'll call it 3 years, now people are spending a Tuesday night in the middle of July watching the Phillies because they're good, because this team is relevant. Rewind 5 years ago, they're not watching, okay? So now you have these groups of people that are coming and watching baseball for their team, watching the Phillies, and they haven't watched baseball. They haven't watched 162 games ever, okay? But now that their team's relevant, so they have a skewed personality, or they have a skewed idea of what baseball should look like, right? So The facts are, in baseball, you're going to go through rough stretches. You're going to lose games. You're going to look bad. You're going to watch ugly games. That is going to happen regardless. You're going to win 60 games and you're going to lose 60 games. Whatever you do with the rest depends on where you fall in your division, more than likely. And we use 60 games as a benchmark. I don't even, White Sox aren't going to get there this year, but that should give you an idea of kind of this is how baseball works. Football is very different. Team plays once a week, right? If the Eagles lose 3 weeks in a row, yeah, let's press the panic button. They just lost to the Commanders. They just lost to the Cowboys, whatever the case. So I think that has something to do with it. The fact that some people don't watch baseball regularly or haven't for years, and now they're starting to get into it, which is great. I love that. But this is how baseball works. You lose games, they're going to be bad. So this is a bad stretch. We all know that. We're seeing that. So I just wanted to get that out of the way first. I understand how baseball works. And they're obviously in a bad stretch right now. But something's got to change, okay? I'm not saying press the panic button. I think most people are looking at the standings and seeing they have a 5-game lead now when it was double digits at one point. You're slowly starting to slide in the NL East. And I don't even care about winning the division. Honestly, I think you're in a better position to win the wild card game as opposed to winning the division. You get those 5 days off. Look historically over the past 2 years, those teams with a 1 seed have lost in the next round. Dodgers, Padres, Braves. So that 5 days off, whatever it is, not really beneficial to your team. If you're playing well and you're hot, you should want to be playing baseball every day. Okay? I don't want 5 days off. I want to play baseball. So that's another discussion. But there's no reason for them to lose this division because they've owned it the entire season. But something's got to change. Okay? As the leader of the team, as the manager, you got to do something. You got to do something, okay? And I know Rob isn't a vocal guy. He's pretty quiet and reserved. But when he talks, it doesn't sound like he has any answers. This is a good team. They're going to get out of it. And I understand that is very true. But it's getting to the point, or it's at the point where something has to happen. There's no fire. There's no grit. There's no yell, scream, start a fight, do something to light a fire under your players because it's not there. Flat. Everybody's been flat. I don't think anybody would disagree with it. But Rob's got to switch something up. I'm doing my part. I usually wear Philly stuff every day. I put on Eagle stuff today. Eagle stuff. I switched the background on my phone to AJ Brown. It's usually Bryce Harper. Always Bryce Harper. Switched it. Because the juju energy has to change. So, Rob, you're in charge of this team. You need to do something. You can't just throw the same lineup and go, okay, guys, figure it out. It's not working. Something's got to switch something up, okay? That would be my first thing. And I'm not shitting on Rob, okay? Rob has also been working in baseball since 1990, okay? He has never been offered a managerial position. Okay? Rob fell into this position. He was going to retire. He was going to retire in 2022 after the season. Girardi gets canned. He fell into this job, which is great. They've been awesome since he's taken over. This, historically over the past few seasons since he's taken over, they've been awesome. They've been nothing short of amazing to watch. But there's something to be said about that. You've been in baseball, Major League Baseball, since 1990. Never been offered a managerial position. Why is that? Maybe you're not a great manager. Maybe you're not a leader. Maybe you don't know how to motivate men. These are questions that are worth asking. At this point, you learn the most during adversity, right? How do you respond? How do you respond during adversity? Keep going through it, blah, blah, blah. No answers from Rob. So that was one thing. that I was thinking about how Rob is in charge of this team is not really doing anything. JT Realmuto talked about this. Phillies are finding new ways to lose every night. You're up 4 runs. You're up 5 runs. You lose the game. You go into extra innings. You lose the game. And last night's umpiring, terrible. It was bad. Posted a video. 21 missed calls from Ryan Wills. It's the umpire's name. 21 missed calls. It's pathetic. There's no accountability for umpires. That's a problem. You're a major league umpire. You miss 21 calls. And I know these guys aren't perfect. Of course not. That's part of baseball. It's not being perfect. But 21 missed calls is pathetic. It's pathetic. Now you can blame the umpires. There's definitely some truth to that. He was bad last night. Ryan Wills was bad. Bad umpiring job. Could also blame our pitchers. There was a lot of called balls in the strike zone. But why was it? Estevez didn't locate. JT was setting up inside. Forgot who it was. I think it was the last batter setting up inside. That ball was way outside. JT had to lunge for it. It's in the zone, but it's not where he set up. I'm not going to call that a strike. So we can blame pitchers for not locating. Blowing 4 and 5 run leads is just unacceptable. It just can't happen. You can't be up by that much and then lose. That's bad. That's just bad. Bad baseball. Our pitching has been the crux and the glue of this team. They've got a great offense, but the pitching has been what has stood out. That's gone out the window as of late. Very uncharacteristic of our bullpen not being able to convert saves, giving up runs. Our bullpen had the 3rd best ERA in baseball as of July 11th. That is out the window. They're ranked 28th, 26th, something like that in regards to bullpen ERA. Now, we got Ranger Suarez coming back, probably for the Arizona series. What's he going to look like when he comes back? In this case, I do think Ranger is going to benefit from some time off. He was lights out in the first half, which is awesome. Fatigue, whatever you want to call it, but he's been amazing. So I think some time off for Ranger specifically will be good for him. When he comes back, I think he'll be good to go. Taijuan Walker, set to return for the Arizona series. Yikes. See what Rob's going to do with him in regards to the rotation, bullpen. Spencer Turnbull returning late August, early September. And this is a problem I got with Phillies fans, because I stood firm in saying Spencer Turnbull should go to the bullpen. In regards to Taijuan Walker, I'd probably change my tune now, but Spencer Turnbull didn't throw more than 50-something innings in the last 4 or 5 years. You can't expect him to come in and throw, start 30 games this season. So I said it would make sense for him to go to the bullpen. People are like, nah, let him go. He's hot. Yeah, that's great. And look what happened. He did go to the bullpen, and he still got hurt. So your best ability is availability. So that didn't work out. He's set to come back. I have high hopes for him. I think Spencer Turnbull will be good. Again, late August, early September. But again, just people thinking, let him go. Let him keep pitching. Well, he hit the shelf. So he's not pitching. So these are things you need to know about players and about pitching and about baseball if you're going to have, commentary on it, okay? Understand he hasn't thrown more than 50 innings in the last 4 or 5 years. So those are the things you got to know before you open your mouth. What happened after the All-Star break? Something happened. I don't know what it is. I'm not in the clubhouse, obviously, but there's no energy. There's no fight. There's no grit. There's no tenacity. Everybody is flat, rolling over and dying. Again, 4 or 5 run lead, rolling over and dying. So those were my thoughts on the Phillies so far after the All-Star break. Just 2 completely different teams. Again, This is a part of baseball. And it sucks because you invest 3 hours of your day watching the Phillies, watching baseball. So when they're not producing like they're capable of, it sucks. So that's pretty much all I had. I'm not pressing the panic button yet. It's still August. It's early August. Have a good month. Getting swept by the Yankees sucked. Getting your tail kicked by the Mariners sucks. You got the Dodgers next. Dodgers are getting healthy now. It's not going to be that same team that we faced a few weeks ago. The team that we swept, that's not who's going to show up. You're not going to face the same starting pitching you did a few weeks ago. It's going to be very different. Got to show up. Got to show up in L.A. Diamondbacks, can't take the Diamondbacks lightly. Saw what happened in the NLCS. And they're playing good baseball too. Then they come home. Got the Marlins, Nationals. Braves come to town, or they go to Braves, I'm not sure. But this is a stretch where you got to get right. And something has to be done. Someone's got to be a leader. Somebody. Schwarbs. Rob. Bryce. Nick. Somebody. Somebody has to put a fire under this team because it's not there. It's flat. And it's boring to watch. I love the Phillies. I believe in them. They're a great team. Still best team in baseball, in my opinion. But the thing is, like I said, something's got to change. It's got to come from someone. Can't keep going out there night in, night out doing the same shit thinking something's going to change because it's not. So wake up. Okay? I don't want to yell at, parents don't want to yell at their kids sometimes, but if you're playing with the burner, they'll figure it out. Yeah, no. Stop playing with the burner. Stop. You're going to get hurt. Wake them up. Wake up. 17 minutes. This is my first solo podcast. So those are my thoughts on the Phils. Love them. Hopefully we get a win today here. Game's at 4:10, I think. So let's switch it up, dude. Let's do something new. Be coming on here in about an hour or so. Go Phils, as always. Go Birds. It's football season now too. Coming up, they're starting to practice. So love it. Guys, thanks for watching and listening. I'll be back soon. Maybe with some better news. Love you.